So I just want to do a quick review of the Uniball AIR. This is a new rollerball style pen from Uniball. It's similar to the 207 and the 307, which I've talked about previously, except that it has a new rollerball style tip. And you can see it uses a tip that's quite different than your standard end here, which is just a cartridge on a standard rollerball. It looks a lot more like a felt tip pen, kind of like an old style Sharpie or something like that, but it's actually a rollerball. And what Uniball says is that this gives you a really good bold style writing experience, but it will happen at any angle. So here you see a bold mark happening at a really steep angle. You go too far, you're going to lose it, but you will get a really steep angle. It's also somewhat pressure sensitive, they say. So you could do a light touch or a heavier touch and put down more or less ink. It feels a lot more like you're writing with a marker or a felt tip than it does a rollerball, which is nice. And then here's that light touch again and a heavier touch. I wasn't pushing that hard, but you can see there's a distinct difference. So here's the red. It's a 0.7 millimeter. It's also a black and a blue. Comes with the new style Uniball design that's in keeping with this 307 more than it is the 207. There's the two side by side. You can see it uses a similar plastic for the clip. Does not carry over the faux carbon fiber design, which is hard to make out, but it is there. Instead, it uses this textured pattern. It doesn't feel textured, but it looks like a texture. Again, this has a cap, and you could take this back piece off, but this cartridge does not come out. So it's not really clear why you would want to do that. If you pull this pretty hard, it does not come out. And we'll just do a quick comparison. So here's the here's the AIR. This is the 0.7 millimeter Signo 307. And then lastly, here's the 207 in a bold. I definitely prefer the 207 bold. It's one of my favorite pens. The AIR, again, has that sort of felt style to it, which I can see people liking, but I'm really not that into. And then lastly, you have the 307, which is essentially the same as the 207. You can check out my video on the comparison between the two and see that there are some differences, but not particularly notable. As for the AIR itself, not too much left to say. I'd say it's fairly stylish for an office style pen. They're pretty cheap. I think a 3-pack costs about $8 or $9, so not super cheap, but not like it's gonna break the bank. It lasts a reasonable amount of time. I haven't finished one off yet. I've had it a couple of weeks. But again, I don't really write with something like this for a long period of time. They're said to be quick drying, so that's nice for us lefties. And then plastic clip, which is nice, flexible. Haven't had one of these break yet, but not as nice as a metal clip as we saw with the 207, and it was dropped on the 307. Lastly, it's reasonably well balanced. So if you're into flipping your pens, it shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, that's the Uniball AIR. Not entirely clear why it exists, but if you like the new tip, or maybe you just like writing at very shallow angles, then I might have some appeal. Thanks for watching.